You've identified a bug in another team's repository and developed a fix, but when you attempt to commit that change, the system denies the request because you lack write permissions. In a traditional siloed environment, this is where the contribution ends. The fork workflow bypasses this restriction by creating a tiered structure for the code. Instead of editing the original repository directly, you generate a personal copy, a fork, within your own workspace, which you then clone to your local computer. Before you begin, verify that you have 3 prerequisites: read access to the target project, create repository permissions in your designated Azure DevOps workspace, and Git installed on your machine. This setup allows any developer to act as a contributor to any project across the organization. You gain the ability to test and propose changes, while the target project remains isolated from your experimental edits. To start, navigate to the target upstream repository within the Azure DevOps web interface. Open the ellipsis menu in the upper right and select Fork. We recommend unchecking the Include All Branches option to bring only the default branch into your workspace, which keeps the repository history clean. Once the process completes, verify the link by looking below the repository title. A Forked From indicator will confirm that your copy is successfully mapped to the original project. Now you must bring this remote copy to your local development environment. Locate the clone URL within your personal fork and copy it. In your terminal, use the git clone command followed by that URL to download the codebase to your machine. You now have an isolated sandbox. You can modify files, run tests, and refactor code without risking the upstream team's work. Before making edits, create a new topic branch with a name that describes your specific fix. Avoid working directly in the main branch of your fork. While this is your copy of the code, keeping your changes in a separate topic branch is what allows you to sync with the original project later without facing complex merge conflicts. After you commit your code changes locally, you will push that topic branch back up to your remote fork in Azure DevOps. This modular approach ensures that your contribution is isolated and ready for the owning team to review as a single, distinct unit fork. With the changes now in your remote fork, you can submit them back to the original project by initiating a pull request. The routing is the most critical part of this step. Your source must be the topic branch in your personal fork, while your target must be the main branch of the original upstream repository. When you submit this request, the original project's automated builds, required reviewers, and branch policies will activate. This ensures your contribution meets the owning team's specific quality standards before it can be merged. You can confirm the submission by checking the Active Pull Requests tab in the upstream repository, where your PR will now be visible to the maintainers. This process enables an open contribution culture while ensuring that every change is scrutinized by the same guardrails that protect the core codebase. Once the upstream team approves and merges your pull request, your contribution is part of the production code. To finalize the cycle, you must update your local workspace. In your terminal, run get pull upstream main-rebase to fetch the latest merged code from the original project. Neglecting this step causes your fork to drift away from the current state of the project. This version gap is what creates difficult technical debt and merge errors when you start your next task. By regularly rebasing against the upstream main branch, you ensure your fork remains a mirror of the latest production code, allowing for continuous, frictionless collaboration. The cycle is complete. Your code has moved from a local fix into a personal fork, and finally into the official production repository of another team. By utilizing this workflow, you've successfully contributed to a project outside your direct team, effectively breaking down engineering silos while adhering to organizational security protocols. This workflow is now part of your toolkit. Browse your organization's repositories today, identify a minor improvement or documentation fix, and execute the fork process to make your first